Hi everybody, my name's Karen. I'm with Mountain View Crochet, and this is my very first YouTube video, and this is probably take, I don't know, 33. So please extend me some grace being my first video, but I just got to keep going, right? You can't just keep going and messing up and starting over. So we're just going to just give it a shot. So anyway, I just wanted to come on here and share some thoughts about my very first fall market. I've had one other market, and that was in April of this year. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. But this market I had from, I don't know, April to October to prep for. And I prepped and prepped and prepped. And I thought about what would sell, what would be a good seller, what wouldn't sell, what could I make? Because I'm still fairly new at crocheting. And I mean, it really hasn't even been a year yet. But I prepped and prepped, and not only did I physically prep by crocheting things to try to make decisions on what I wanted to sell, but also like in my mind. So I felt like I was sleeping crochet. When I was at work, I was thinking about crocheting. My colleagues, oh, thank goodness, they've been so kind. They'd be, every time we talk, so what are you making? What have you done new? And of course, I would show them pictures, or when I work from home, we would be on Teams meetings, and I would say, oh, look, I made this pumpkin. Oh, I made this duck. And they were all so supportive, but they're probably tired of me talking about it, so I'm going to talk to you. So anyway, so I decided what I was going to do. I started making everything, and then I had friends come over and take a look at my layout. I did a layout in my garage of what it should look like. I had a 10 by 10 spot, and they're like, oh, you should make more pumpkins. Those are really going to sell, and you should make more of this. So I just made a whole bunch of stuff. I even took days off work prepping, and you know what goes into prepping. Downloading everything into your Square, doing all your pricing. Does your price tags look okay? Do you have enough cards? Do you have the right kind of cards? Do you have the right kind of price tags? I mean, there's so much more into it than just going and setting up a table and saying, I'm here. And again, I learned so much by watching markets on YouTube. And so I'm so appreciative of that. But in another sense, it put a lot of pressure on me because I wanted to do a good job. I wanted to do it justice, and I really wanted to come out of everything great. So I'm going to show you what my booth looked like. I had a 10 by 10 spot. It was in a fairground, and it was so adorable. So you had two options. You had the outside option, which was $50. And then you had the inside option, which was $100. Well, I still haven't bought a tent yet. I kind of feel like I'm in the exploration phase, right? Am I going to do well, and then I'm going to buy the tent, I'm going to buy everything, or am I not going to do it? Do you all feel that? Can you feel that pain there? My decision-making pain, my brain pain. I picked the $100 version because I didn't have the tent. So, the day of, it was about an hour away. My husband and I went the weekend before and figured out where it was. And it was, like I said, it was about an hour away from our house. It was at a fairgrounds. And we're still sort of new to this area, so thank goodness for Google Maps, right? So I figured out how to get there and how far away it was. And I still don't know, like, which are the good fairs. And I don't even know people around here who do this. So it's not like I have people to say, hey, have you been to this fair before? So I've just been following along with what people have been recommending, and I felt like I asked the right questions. So the woman said, the planner said, well, this is the first year we're having it at the fairgrounds. We moved it to here. To me, that sounds like, oh, it must have been successful in the past. And so I just went with it. You know, you just don't know what to pick, right? So I went with it. So my husband and I went the weekend before, and we found it. But on the fairgrounds, they let you go in there. There was nobody stopping you to go on the fairgrounds. But I didn't really know, like, what part of the fairground you would be on. So we went back the next week. We left at like 6:30 in the morning. We got there about 7:30. No, it was at least 7:30, 7:45. And we set up, and let me just tell you how cute this barn was. It was really like a real long barn, and it had the open beams, which I just love. I just love that warm, cozy, like it feels fallish feeling. It adds to the aesthetic of the event. So got everything set up. I had my little 10 by 10 booth, and I'm going to show you what it looks like, okay? And I loved it. I thought it looked so pretty, and I felt so proud of it. My husband took pictures of me, and we took a little video of it. And I was so excited because one of the vendors came over and she bought two, I have these little chickens and I call them macchiato chickens. And that's just because of the yarn that I used. I think it's a Caron Cakes, but I'll look it up and let you know. So I used just the regular pattern that I did for the chickens, but it's just small because of this yarn that I used. And I just wanted to experiment, right? Like we all do, and try something new. And it was so cute. It turned out so cute. So this woman buys two of these chickens before it's even open, before the booth is even open. And I was so excited. And she bought one for herself and one for her boyfriend's mother, who just moved into assisted living. She had to give up her chickens because she moved there. And she goes, oh, this will be so cute for her. And it's so tiny. She can put it anywhere. And I was like, yeah, this is like, yeah, starting great. And then my second sales was another macchiato chicken, which was this little girl. I have to tell you about her. She was probably about 4 years old. So cute, like little blonde curls. She had an orange, cute little skirt on with a cream color sweater with a pumpkin on it and a little pumpkin orange purse. Oh my God, she was so, so cute. So anyway, she came up to the booth with her mother. And she picked the chicken up, and she told her mom that she wanted this chicken. And the mom's like, are you sure you want to spend your birthday money on this chicken? And she's like, yes. Oh my gosh. Like, I feel so good that this 4-year-old wanted my little chicken. Like that, doesn't that just bring joy into your heart when you see something like that? Okay, so that was it. And so it started, and there were a couple people dribbling in, and I knew it was going to be slow in the morning because y'all tell me that it's normally slow in the morning, and then it seems to be on a Saturday pickup during lunchtime, like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, that's the time that it picks up. Well, guess what? It never really picked up. I mean, there were people, but it was never crowded. Like it came in little dribbles. And I drove myself nuts prepping for this. So, and I had put like all my thoughts and hopes and, well, if this works, then I'll move on to another craft fair next year. Like I only wanted to do 2 this year, you know, just because I wasn't sure. I didn't know how this all worked. And I kind of drove myself a little crazy watching YouTube videos. It looks like so much fun and everybody's happy and selling, and they always come out, oh, I made all this money. And I mean, you do see some where people don't make as much as that they would like, but it all seems like happy in the end, right? So anyway, so what happened was that by the end of the day, I probably sold, I told you I paid $100 for the booth. So I sold about $200 worth of stuff. And that was great. I mean, that was great. But I always thought that the $100 booth meant that there would be higher level people there, like more people coming in. The more you pay for the booth, more traffic you would see. Well, that just wasn't the truth. There were times there was nobody. Like you could look down the hallway of that barn, and it was long. There was like 50 vendors there. Well, 50 vendors come with outside too. So outside was really cute. There was music, like I could hear the music a little bit from the barn. There was music, there was vendors outside. There was a couple of food trucks, and we got some really great tacos. My husband and I got some tacos. We got some tacos from there, and I packed lunch, but I really wanted to support the other vendors. Plus, the tacos smelled really good when I went out there. I had to pass that going to the ladies' room. So outside there was, I don't know, there was like at least 20 out there. There was a lot of vendors, and there was a couple crochet vendors, and I met this really nice girl there. That was her very, very first show. She made the cutest moose, and I actually bought the pattern and made it this week. But, so anyway, where was I? Oh, So there was nobody even in the hallways. That's crazy, right? And so the vendors started like talking like there's no traffic. This is crazy. And they were coming up to me at my booth and they're like, you need to know your booth looks really good. It has nothing to do with you. We're not selling anything. There's nobody here to sell to. And, not everybody who comes through is going to like your stuff anyway, nor are they looking for crochet things, right? Right. So, but there was this really cute vendor over here that sold lotions and soap, and it smelled so good. And then this vendor over here, they sold baked goods. Well, my husband was there first thing in the morning and got like this gigantic whoopie pie. So they both came over and like, your booth looks really cute. We're not selling anything either. Even though the bakery, she says she's always busy. And she had people there, but she said nothing like it is normally, nothing. And then we started walking around and I started talking to people, and there were other crochet vendors there. There were two other in the barn who they sold different things than I did, but they said, oh, this is like nothing. There was this one lady had the cutest little mystery boxes who said she always sells out of those. Like she said she sold just a couple. And so I felt better about that, but I have to say that I felt so sad after the event. I really did. I felt really like overwhelmed and sad because I prepped and thought about this. Like I said, I thought about this when I was sleeping. I know I dreamt about crocheting, and I thought about it when I was at work. Excuse me. And I thought about it when I was not at work, and I crocheted. Like I would sometimes get up before work and crochet because I wanted to make sure I had enough. And I know I had a lot of time to prep, but I was still learning too, and I wanted to put out a good product. So, and then everybody seemed to really like the chickens. So I made chickens in different colors and different sizes, and pumpkins seemed to be good. So I made different colors and 3 different sizes. And then I started looking, oh, I need to have wristlets, and I need, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, so here's the thing. This is what kind of gets me, but that the woman who put it together, the organizer, she posted the next day, though there was at least 1,000 people here, we stopped counting after that. And I'm thinking, well, my husband, who was there with me at the booth, who walked around a lot, like he couldn't just stay at the booth, obviously, for all those hours. And he said we must have walked 4 miles around the barn and through the booths and to the different areas. And he said, before she even said that, you probably got about 250 people on the grounds at once. And he's pretty good at counting things like that. So she came out the next day saying, oh, there was 1,000 people, but I stopped counting at that. There was more. And here's the date for next year. I'm thinking, that didn't happen. If that did, they didn't go through the barn. They were all outside. And the outside and the barn were right next to each other. You had to go by like the entrance table she had set up, which was really pretty with flowers and everything. But nobody hardly ever came through the barn. It was really bad. It was really bad. But anyway, that kind of disappointed me because I'm thinking when I'm looking for places to go to, if I'm looking for shoes that I might be interested in, I'm looking, how many people were in attendance? I'm asking all the questions. How many people were in attendance? What's the booth size? What's the cost? Is this the first time you've done this market? I have a bunch of questions that I've learned from watching videos, and I don't think that really happened. Anyway, so here was my first market. I made $200, which really didn't make $200 because 100 minus 100 for the vending fee. And then we bought the tacos. And also I bought some things from other vendors, really cute Christmas things that a lady made. And the gas, because it was an hour away. So probably didn't make anything monetarily wise, but I did make some nice contacts. I talked to some really nice people. My husband got to eat a big whoopie pie. And he liked that. And like I said, I met a lot of nice people. I put a booth together at a show. My first show was at a mall, and it was at Easter time. And so I made the chicks, you know, that you put in the eggs, and then I made some chickens and some wine totes, and that went fine. I made $250 minus then the $25 for the booth fee. It was 8-foot table. And so I didn't do great, but I did pretty good comparatively to this one. So I guess lesson learned. But anyway, well, I kind of wanted to share my first experience. I hope that this experience will encourage other people. I was a little bit sad. I mean, it's been about 2 weeks since the show. And usually I'm like, nothing puts me down. Like, I'm just crocheting. I make wine totes. So I made 2 in every color since I have sold a bunch of wine totes. I made lots of Della Ducks. I made pumpkins galore, and hopefully I'll show you the video of what everything looks like if I can figure it out, because I've never done this before, so bear with me, please. I made these cute little, I'm going to put this video in, cute little cat toy. It's a little mini chicken, and it's stuffed with organic catnip, and my cat, Ginger Snap, loves it. She plays with it all the time. And I think it's the catnip, but she seems to really like it. And I put a bell on it, and so it's adorable. I'll try to put a little video of in here of her playing with it, but she seems to love that. So I sold one to the bakery lady, and I sold one more to somebody else. What else? Oh, I've been playing with these wallets. I don't know, I kind of wanted to see what a wallet would look like, and I lined it and everything. Oh, I worked so hard on everything, which everybody does, right? You put your heart and soul, and you really want to do well. And it's not always, I guess it's not always the money. It's what you've learned. I mean, I wasn't adding up the funds, but I don't know, maybe it's a pride thing. You just want to do well. Like, because all those people that I talked to at work, they're like, how did you do? How'd you do? And I said, well, it didn't do as well as I'd want to, but I learned a lot. They were all so kind. They've all been so sweet. But anyway, I just wanted to share with you my experience. It's starting to get cold outside, but this was the best light that I had. I hope that this light was good. But what I wanted to tell you too is that it took me a while. So that was it. That was all the shows. I was going to do my April show and my October show, and then just wait it out, see what happens. But after about 2 weeks, I signed up for 3 more. I have one more at a school. She said that there's 55 vendors. That's huge. That makes me nervous. That's going to be a 10 by 10 booth. One it's only an 8-foot booth, but it's in Kennebunkport. And I think that one will do good. So they supply the table. It's an 8-foot table. I'm going to have to figure out how to put everything on an 8-foot table. And then I have one more December 6th. So that means I need to take away my pumpkins. Who's going to buy your pumpkins then? And go with some Christmas things, which is exciting because I like to crochet, and I will find more things to crochet. Anyway, so I just wanted to tell you, yes, that I was a little sad and a little disappointed and a little discouraged. And I really appreciate everybody else who's ever shared that things like this have happened to them too, because everything's not sunshine and roses, right? Especially in this economy. So anyway, I wanted to share that. I thank you for hanging out for me. I would really love to hear in the comments if you've had that happen to you too, that we can share. And I'm really looking forward to building a community and getting to know people. I feel a little bit like I'm the only one who does that around here that I know of. And I feel like there's so many of you out there that I've seen your videos, and I wish I could call and say, hey, did this happen to you? Or, hey, I'm making this and I don't quite understand this pattern, do you? Anyway, well, I hope to make some friends here, And I hope to share my next craft show with you. And I guess that's it. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one.